Hi, everybody, and welcome to our webinar on Copilot for Bing. Very excited to have Janine here to show you through this. Earlier in the year, where Microsoft made Copilot available to our market, we held about 7 seminars around the country, from Westport down in the south up to Tauranga in the north. What we'll do, we will share a link to that for you, as this was exploring Copilot within your apps, Word and Excel, etc. Now, during those seminars, we often got lots of questions about, hey, what's this little Copilot button I've already got? So that's why we have Janine here. So I'll pass over to her.
Hi everybody, today I am going to introduce you to Microsoft Copilot for Bing. Now this is a web-based Copilot, and I'll take you through the ins and outs on where you can use it and how you can use it. So my name's Janine Brittain, and I'm one of the Microsoft Modern Workplace BDMs. If you've got any questions throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate to just jump in or raise a question through the chat button there, and we're more than happy to answer them through the presentation. I want to try and keep this as interactive as possible. Right, so as you are most probably all aware, the world is changing. The last huge technology impact that we had was the introduction of the internet. So industries are adapting and transforming rapidly to accommodate AI. So we haven't experienced a diffusion at this scale in the tech industry for quite some time. So if you have a look at the graph here, you'll see that it took 16 years for us to take on the mobile phone to get to that 100 million users. Sorry, 100 million users. The internet, we took 7 years. Facebook, when that was introduced, was 4.5 years. And since ChatGPT was introduced, it's only taken 3 months for us to hit that timeline there to 100 million users. So as you can see, we're all jumping on this really fast. So what I wanted to take you through today is a close look at Copilot for the web, but you're probably all aware of ChatGPT. So hands out to the people that are using ChatGPT. Is anyone else using it out there? No hands. Yep, here's some hands. Okay, so ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI, and if you're using ChatGPT, it's usually used for broader conversational AI capabilities. So if you compare that to Copilot for the web, this was developed by Microsoft, and it's more efficient information retrieval and structured responses. So Bing Chat is ideal for users looking for quick answers or specific information retrieval tasks, while ChatGPT is suitable for applications requiring interactive conversational AI capabilities across different domains. So what I'm saying here is you can use both of them, but when it comes to Copilot for the web, as I'll take you through, it's got some key functions that they'll step it over that ChatGPT mark. So Copilot for the web was introduced last year. It was formerly called Bing Chat for Enterprise. You will have noticed, a lot of you've got the option on your keyboard, or it pops up on your screen when you're in an application to click on that icon for Copilot. So they introduced Copilot in 2 different areas. So we've got Copilot for individuals. This is the home-based version of Copilot. And then you've got Copilot for organizations. Then within those 2 categories, you've got Copilot and Copilot Pro, and Copilot and Microsoft 365 Copilot. So the difference here is with Copilot for Microsoft 365 and for Copilot Pro, what it's going to do is retrieve information that's within your tenant, and it looks at your Outlook, your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. When you look at Copilot for the web, that's only getting information from the web for you. It's not looking at your applications or your past, anything you've done within your work. The one key thing that it has over ChatGPT is it has commercial data protection in both the Pro version and the Copilot for Microsoft 365. So commercial data protection means that whatever that you're putting into the chat, whatever you're asking for it, it is going to be completely protected. So nothing is going to be leaked out to the wider ChatGPT or into any of the OpenAI robots there. So that's one key thing that you will definitely need to look at, especially if you're using it for a business features or asking it business questions. Now, why Copilot? So it's powerful and protective. So Copilot, as I said before, has your business data is always protected. So it's included with your Entra ID. So your Entra ID is what you're doing. You're logging in with, your credentials that you're logging in with. Your chat data is not saved. There's no eyes on your access, and the chat data is not used to train the model. Okay, if you're using ChatGPT, just with a standard logon, then your whatever you're inputting into that model is going to be used to train larger models as well. It has access to the powerful AI models, so it's built on the latest AI, GPT-4 and DALL-E 3, and it's no cost, additional cost for any of you that are using Microsoft 365 standard, professional, and above. It's also transparent and current. So every time you ask a question to Copilot, it will provide you citations for each response. So it's going to tell you where it's retrieved that information from the web, and the responses are sourced with up-to-date information. So you know that everything that you're asking it is going to be current there. Now, if we look at some workday efficiencies with Copilot, these are some quick and easy things that you can do. So you can summarize a long PDF. So say you've been sent a long PDF document, you can't be bothered reading through the whole thing. You can ask it to summarize that into key points that you need to know. That's one awesome feature that they have. And you can actually attach documents, and I'll take you through that shortly. You can draft emails and social content. So you can, especially if you're in marketing, perfect for coming up with marketing social content for you. Use it as a professional writer. It can you can type out an email and you may think, oh, okay, that response is maybe not quite how I want it to say or sound. So you can put it into Copilot and ask it to regenerate a different version for you. It can also generate images. So leaving behind your stock images and things like that, you can now ask it to generate an image based on what you are asking it. So you can put any prompt in there and it will turn out a picture for you or an image for you. You can learn new skills. So it's great for if you're in a conversation with someone and they think they're right and you think you're right, well, just type it into Copilot and it will give you the right answer, solve any arguments there. And also anything that you're doing, whether it's looking up information on anything, it will give you the answer. And any complex questions or any specific things that you're wanting to know, you can always ask Copilot. But just remember, it's getting the information from the web. So everything you ask is going to be going to have citations in there, and you're going to be able to reference back to those as to where it's come from. So some personal sort of use cases for Copilot that I've come up with. So for example, quick facts and definitions. So users can ask Bing Chat for definitions of terms, quick facts about historical events, explanations of scientific concepts, etc. Current events. So users can inquire about current news topics, sports scores, weather updates, and trending events. Another thing is geographical information. So Bing Chat can provide information about geographical locations such as population area, demographics, and local attractions. You can look at local businesses. So you can search for nearby restaurants, hotels, shopping malls, banks, gas stations, etc., along with their ratings and reviews and also directions to that local business. Another one is flight information. So you can check for flight statuses, schedules, and airline information by asking asking Copilot. Product searches. You can inquire about product availability, price specifications, and customer reviews as well. From an education support side of things, you can use it as a learning aid. And students can use Bing Chat to help get Help with homework questions, study topics, and research projects. Also language translation. They can assist with translating phrases or sentences into different languages. There's also movie and TV show information. So you can ask for details about movies, TV shows, actors, directors, release dates, reviews, all those sort of things. Sports information as well. You can get updates on sports scores, schedules, team standings, player statistics, and upcoming games as well. From a medical point of view, you can ask about your symptoms. Don't generally advise doing this, go to your doctor, but you can do that. Also fitness, you can inquire about workout routines. You can ask them to come up with a healthy recipe menu guide for you for the week, nutritional facts and fitness tips. And from a general assistance view, calculations and conversions. So you can ask it for mathematical calculations, unit conversions, currency exchange rates and measurements, and also technology support. So you can seek help with troubleshooting computer issues, software recommendations and tech tips as well. So there's a raft of personal use cases there that you can use in your day-to-day. From a business perspective, here's a list of ideas that you can use with Copilot as well. So market research and competitive analysis. So business analysts and market researchers can use this to gather competitive intelligence, industry trends and market insights. And it can provide information on market size, demographics, consumer behavior, and emerging technologies relevant to the business. From a customer support and service, businesses can integrate this into their customer support systems to handle basic inquiries, frequently asked questions and troubleshooting tips. It can assist in providing real-time information on order status, shipping details, product availability and return policies. Lead generation and sales support. So sales teams can use this Copilot to research potential leads, gather company information and identify key decision makers within target organizations. It can also help in providing competitive pricing information, product specifications and customer testimonials to support your sales pitch. Business intelligence and data analysts. Executives and business analysts can use this to quickly retrieve business metrics, financial data and performance indicators. It can also assist in generating reports, charts, graphs based on specific queries related to figures. HR, from an HR perspective, you can use Copilot for employee assistance, policy inquiries, benefits information and recruitment support. It can provide guidance on HR processes, training resources and career development opportunities as well. So there's a lot of things that you can use this for. I use it on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure the guys at Yorb do as well. I ask it a lot of questions, whether it's personal or business, and it helps me every day. So from here, I just thought I'd get you all to log in if you can, if you're all in front of your computer. If you want to just www.bing.com, that's going to take you into the Copilot web interface, and you should bring up a screen exactly like I'm looking at here now. And as you can see, when you do log in, you will see that you'll have a green protected sign up here. Now that protected sign means that everything that you're putting in is 100% protected from anyone seeing. There's no eyes on any access of any content that you're inputting here. So make sure that it's on. As long as you're logging in with your Entra ID credentials, which should be your Windows logon, you'll have your name and then they'll have that protected sign. From here, it will give you some options on sort of suggestions on what you can do within here. And it also has a conversation style, so you can be more creative, more balanced, or more precise, depending on what you're wanting to get out of it. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple of minutes just to play around. I've got a couple of scenarios that you can use. So the first one that you can try is creating an image. So if you want to type into your chat prompt here and say, can you please create me an image of, say, a monkey sliding down a hill on a snowboard with a banana in its mouth. And whoever can send their picture through the chat, it'd be great. So I'll just pause for a minute and let you guys do that. It's great if you're wanting a specific image of something. Haven't seen anything in the chat yet. How's it going? And if you've created an image as well, you may want a cartoon version of that image, or you may want it to be more realistic. You can be a lot more detailed in your prompt, whatever you're asking it, in there when you ask to create that image. If it may give you options underneath, and it will suggest different things as well. You might say at the end of it, oh, I like that picture, but I want to remove the background. And then you can ask it to do that as well, and it will do that for you. Here we go. Perfect, Rebecca. It said to me, I am here to assist with tasks within our chat, but my creating images is beyond my capabilities. If you're looking to create visual content like that, you might want to consider graphic design. Interesting. But has everyone else had that error? I wonder why you've had that error.
I've come across the error in the past, but when I've retried it, maybe a minute later, then it generates an image. So.
Oh, we've even got a unicorn here. That's awesome. A unicorn on a skateboard. A monkey on a on a surfboard. Type unicorn by mistake. That's all right. Doesn't matter. That's awesome. So as you can see, you can create anything you're wanting it to. Another option to try is you can summarize a document. So from here, you'll see an attach button, so you can attach a document. So if you've got any Word document within your computer there, if you want to attach that in and ask it in its prompt to summarize that document for you. Yeah, that's correct, Matthew. Yeah, sometimes it does depend on how you ask it in the prompt. It usually it's best to ask it to create an image first, and then give the prompt on what image that you're wanting it to create. Let me know how you get on with summarizing a document. Just use any basic Word document that you may have sitting in there. How's everyone going with summarizing a document? Does anyone want to give a show of hands if they've succeeded with summarizing a document? Or if you need help, just put it in the chat. Yes, it's working well. Great. Perfect. Another option, just as a scenario that I've used before, is I had a friend that was starting a business, a roofing company up in Mangawhai, and he didn't know where to start when he was writing a business plan. So I said to him, look, let's let's sit down, let's ask Copilot. So he wrote into Copilot prompt, he said, I want to create a business plan for my roofing company in Mangawhai. And if you want to try and type this into the prompt as well, and you'll just see what it will produce for you. Once he's done that, it created us an outline of a business plan that he needed to do. And then underneath it also suggested things that he needed to do as the next step. So it also suggested, how about we create you a marketing plan, things like that. And it kept prompting and prompting and prompting. And by the end of it, he had everything he had that he needed to have within a couple of hours, rather than spending probably about a week writing that sort of business plan and researching it heavily. It even came up with competitive information on competitive roofing companies within the area and what has worked up there in the past. It was great. So if you've ever, there's just a couple of scenarios that you can actually play around with. So if we look at Copilot and Copilot for Microsoft 365, the Copilot that we're using right now is Copilot for the web, formerly Bing Chat. That is looking at everything from the web unless you're attaching a document, okay? If you look at Copilot for Microsoft 365, not only does it look at everything from the web, but it will also look within your tenant at all your applications. So it'll look at your Word, your Excel, your Teams, your Outlook. So when you're asking for it something in the prompt, it is going to come back to you and say, and not only retrieve that information from the web, it's also going to retrieve the information from all your files, etc. So where you would use it, for instance, is so you wanted to create a new sales pitch, but you wanted to base it off a previous one that you've worked on, where you can ask it that, and it will look back into all your files that you've got saved within your tenant and retrieve that information from that file and create you a new pitch deck. So that's the key difference. You're looking at the web now, and then Copilot for Microsoft 365, you're going to be looking at everything in your applications. So those are the key difference. And also Copilot for Microsoft 365 does cost, whereas Copilot for the web is a free option for you as long as you're using a Microsoft 365 Business Standard and Premium and above. So to become an AI-powered business, the first step, there is 3 key foundational steps that you need to be making. The first step is empowering all your employees to be using AI-powered tools that are free. So what I've just taken you through, make sure that everyone is playing around with it, getting used to prompting the AI chat there, and also getting used to just using it as a day-to-day tool. The next step is making sure that you're standardizing on Microsoft 365 because you get this web option for free with your 365. There is another step that you need to take, and that's looking at your security and how your data is all set up. So I know Rich is going to be taking you through a presentation at a later date that's going to talk about organizing your data within your tenant there as well. And that is it from me. Over to you, Rich. Unless anyone has got any questions or wants to go through anything else.
Thank you, Janine. Daniel here, for those of you I haven't met before. Want to talk briefly about where we're heading next with our AI journey. And one of the big challenges is AI is here, it's among us. We've all got to get on board with it. We ran our seminar series 3 months ago, and we got a couple of pieces of negative feedback around the part of it that it might take people's jobs. We don't think it will. We think AI is here to help you do your job better, be more efficient, be more productive. And the reality is, if we don't understand it, we don't get in front of it, then we're going to be left behind. So I do really encourage every single person in this meeting to have a look at these tools, make sure you understand them, make sure they be used in your business. So thank you, Janine, for doing that presentation. The other comment there, just to reiterate, Copilot for Bing Chat that you've been using this morning, it's free within all your 365 subscriptions right now. Please make sure you are using it. Data governance is our next big conversation starter that we want to talk about later in the year. So I want to quickly cover some of this off and talk about where we're heading. Now, data governance has come into the conversation mainly because of Copilot. Everyone's saying if you don't have good data in your systems, then Copilot's not going to give you good results. So there's talk about if you've built a policy set that says every single person must wear steel cap boots, and then you've got a policy from 2012 that didn't require that, when you ask Copilot a question, it may give you the wrong result. So not having your data in a good state could reduce the impact of Copilot for your business and AI for your business. But data governance isn't only about Copilot and AI. Data governance is about the fact that we're all required by the Privacy Act, by the Anti-Money Laundering Act, by General Protection Regulation out of Europe to keep our data in a good state. And if we're not doing that, we're actually breaching our legal requirements. So over the next 12 months, we're building out a data governance journey to help people on that track. So first of all, making sure you assess your data, understand where it's at, then look at what policies you should have in place. How do you treat your data? How do you handle sensitive data? Following that by making sure you move data into a structure that is logical. Fourth, we look at data leak prevention, information rights management. So making sure that data can't leak out of your business without your explicit approval, and making sure other people can't read it that shouldn't. Then moving into your data lifecycle management, so making sure data that doesn't get stale. So they have an option of called data rot, redundant, obsolete, trivial. Obsolete data when you're searching in things like SharePoint becomes a real challenge. I was just in a meeting this morning where people were saying every time they search something in SharePoint, they get the wrong information. And usually it's because there's data 3 or 4 years old that hasn't been cleaned up. So data lifecycle management, and finally taxonomy and meta tags, tagging your data so it can be searched easily. All this is required over time to make Copilot for 365 really powerful, but also to make sure you're meeting your legal obligations. So it's a conversation we're going to start later this year. Please do reach out to us if you want to discuss it further before that. Andrew, so if there's anything in particular you want to talk about in that space, let us know. Going to move us forward there, Janine. I think you've got the power. So we do have that data governance journey webinar coming up. What is important and why is it important? Rich is also our Copilot champion in the business. He absolutely loves Copilot. He's using it every day. He's keen to do a Microsoft Excel deep dive. For those of you that have got Copilot for 365, you'll probably note Excel seems to be the hardest of the tools to use well. So we're currently doing some work with Microsoft to understand how we can use it better and how people can use it better. So we're working through that, and hopefully later this year we want to bring you an Excel deep dive webinar for those that use Excel and data in a lot of detail. But as always, if there's any other topics you want to talk about, anything you would like us to cover in these webinars, we do want to run more of them, both in person and online. So please let us know, flick us an email, or send it through to your client engagement partner when you talk to them next. If you've got any questions, please don't be afraid to raise your hands, put them in the chat, and we'll run through them quickly. We will, of course, be sending out a recording of this webinar to everyone that attended.
No questions? Must have explained it really well.
Excel deep dive would be great. Completely agree. Excel is a hard one to do.
How long do you see this journey taking?
That's a really good question. If we're talking data governance, problem is there's no destination, there's no end point. Once you start on data governance, you need to keep working on it. So you need to get your data in a good state, and you need to keep it in that state. So we expect data governance to be an ongoing journey, not just to do a project and move on with it. There are better and better tools coming on board, and we'll bring those to you as they come on board. Design work, certainly, Dylan, we can put something together on that. First thing, from a Copilot point of view, to make it safe and viable, what we suggest you do is get 1 or 2 people in the business that you have confident seeing your data. So probably the CEO, the managing director, the CFO, those senior team leaders. Have them use Copilot first, trial it for 3 to 6 months, come back and talk about it, talk to us about how it worked, where the issues were, and how we can improve it. So the best thing when it comes to making it safe is actually trial it with a small pilot group.
They are suggesting groups, isn't it, within your businesses, it's like your sales or your marketing department or your finance department as well. Is another next step after that.
Happy to come and talk to you, Matthew, if you want to book a meeting of any of us to go through some more detail on your individual use case scenarios. Any other questions?
Julie has just mentioned here that she's thanks for your time and particular comfort of it and not taking our jobs. I just reiterate what Daniel said is it's definitely not going to take over all our jobs. It's there to help us become more creative and take that mundane work off our hands so we can be more creative within our work and give us more time. Can't do everything for us.
I think the worst thing we could do is pretend it's not here and not coming. The Kodak story is always a good one. Kodak invented digital camera, then ignored it. So we need to know it's here. We need to know how it can make our jobs better and give us that advantage over other people or other competitors if need be.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Janine. Thank you, Rick. Really appreciate your time and everyone else for joining the call. We'll look forward to bringing more webinars to you later in the year.